The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. The second show in August. Another Zoom show tonight for the first time ever. Topic Time Nation is going to the state of Ohio. This is Youngstown, Ohio, named after me, I like to think. This gentleman I'm interviewing, he's an athletic actor, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. We're going to talk about that. He played a boxer in a film, but of course, and we'll talk about that and everything else he's done. But before we get to that, we got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we have Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We have A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton, always in search of new service writers and techs, and even if you don't know how to do it, send someone by that does. We got 111 Tactile Collective in Brockton. We got One Good Credit in Brockton. We got Eli's Auto Care in Taunton. We got Johnny Macaroni's Restaurants, two in East Bridgewater, one in Halifax. We got Auto Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton, one number for towing, one number for projects, always in search of wheels, junk, anything to do with transportation. My pal Lynch, you can handle over there. We got the Gunrunner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough. We got Eastern Fitness in the Village Shops in Northeastern. We got Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the removal and installation of quartz and granite. Not in that order necessarily. We got the RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have Doggy Boutique, all be professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddall in Brockton. And we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. And I want to thank you guys very much. And now I'm going to officially introduce Mr. Joey V. On his Facebook page, he goes by Tony Martino, and we'll talk all about that. I guess that's the character you play in this film?
Yes, Tony Milano.
Milano, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at Facebook. Okay. All right, that's fine. It found Italian sounding name either way. Okay.
That's it.
Okay. You know, we delightful podcasters are human too, and that's why we have conversations to correct us when we need to do just that. So what we're going to do is you're sitting at a gym that is owned by a friend of yours. Is that a boxing gym and a weightlifting gym, or a combination of thereof?
More of a fitness gym.
Okay.
Weightlifting gym. Yeah. Get people. He does personal fitness.
Okay.
That's what he does, and it's a really good gym. It's called Body by Phil.
Okay, and I assume his name is Phil.
Right.
Oh,
correct.
Okay. Kudos to me for that. All right, and you got a bag right there over your right shoulder. So
Yeah. That's I believe that's an uppercut bag.
Okay, right. That's a speed bag. I know.
No, that's not a speed bag. The speed bag that's actually a bigger.
Oh, it is?
Looks small in the picture in the video, but it's actually bigger than what it looks like.
Once again, that's why we have conversations to correct mistakes and make them more interesting. Okay. All right. Well, tell me about yourself. Sum up what you do basically, in about 2 paragraphs, and then we'll cover it, and then we'll talk about your childhood and how you got into what you're doing. So start with that.
You're saying about myself as personalized?
Yeah, but we'll talk about the acting first, and then we'll work our way back. So start with that, because that's how.
Well, I was on the set of Creed Part 2. And then, at that time, I wasn't inspired to get into acting at all. I was just going there because Rocky is, I'm so passionate about Rocky.
Okay, Rocky Balboa, not
Right.
Rocky. Yeah, gotcha.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
obviously Creed is a spinoff of Rocky.
Okay,
I had an opportunity to go in there, and I did. Actually, it was Creed 2.
okay,
Make a long story short, I ended up being a ringside photographer.
wow,
The final fight with the Russian and Creed.
okay,
I was like 12 days on the set. It was an amazing experience. Right there, right next to Creed's corner,
right,
right next to Sly, right next to,
wow,
I don't know if you know the guy is a professional stitch man. Or actually, Stitch is his nickname, but a professional cut man.
okay,
Boxing and other martial arts. The Ultimate Fighting champion he had.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the person, but I certainly know who Sly is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this was how long ago?
This was 2018, April of 2018.
Okay, so 5 years ago. All right.
Yeah,
Now, as I recall, you told me you're a filmmaker as well. You've worked behind the camera and in front of it, correct?
right. This is the first feature film that I'm doing.
Okay, as an actor, not as behind, not behind the scenes, in front of the camera. You mean, right?
Right. Yeah, both. You know, pretty much wrote this. I'm
Oh,
directing it. Yeah, and I had a co-writer to help me out at the end. I'm directing it. Yeah, starring in it,
yeah, yeah.
organizing everything,
Okay,
calling everybody. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I'm sure it is, but it's totally going to be worth it when it's done. And how many people do you have on the cast so far? In the cast?
On the cast, honestly, I don't know, but we have the main Phil, the owner of this building, this gym here. He's the Irish manager in the movie, the Irishman
Okay,
manager. So we
sweet.
got him. We got the Irish boxer. We got the girl that plays in it, Tony's love interest. We
Okay, you
got
got how about the card girl? You got her too? Well, it's not. No, okay, no card girl. Okay, but well, she's not the card girl too, is she or not? The one.
no,
Okay, all right.
you
All
mean
right.
like the ring girl? You're talking about the ring girl?
Yeah, the ring girl, the one who holds the numbers up every.
Oh no, we're gonna have some other girls for that. Yeah,
Oh, okay, good. Then,
yeah.
then I'll definitely watch the film. Okay, and you're gonna be filming it right there in Youngstown, Ohio, at the.
Yeah, we've been filming in Youngstown, and there are going to be some scenes that's in Florida that eventually I'm
Okay.
going to go back there and film some scenes there.
Okay.
You know, I started this um, filming. Make a long story short, I came to Youngstown November of 21,
Okay.
and a friend of mine that I was staying with, um, he was actually in the movie. He was going to be the Irishman manager.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a month later, he caught COVID, and then
Oh.
like in January, things were going south fast, and they just had to pull the plug on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was really tough. I wasn't going to continue filming. I was just going to go back home. But because how can you film like that? When your friend passes like that, it was really hard to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but then um, her sister said I can stay at the house and film it and dedicate it to him. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it took me some time to get over it, but
Right. Right.
honestly, still I haven't got over it still.
Well, you
But
can't. You're never gonna always get over
right,
it. I mean, of course. Yeah.
but it took me a couple of months to even just starting filming again. Proceed filming, and I mean I'm still at his house, so it's like I think about him every day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly. Well, you're doing well. He would have been proud, I'm sure.
yeah,
Knowing that you're
yeah.
hanging in there and still doing it, and I'm sure that you're going to dedicate it to him when it's done as well.
I am, yes, definitely.
Okay. So are you originally from Florida? Is that it? Because I noticed on your area code and when we talked on the phone, it said Florida. It said Florida.
I've been in Florida since January 1st, '87.
Okay.
We were
That's a
from
while ago.
New York, right? We were
Okay.
from New York. I was born in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, you got your Brooklyn shirt on there.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I actually got this from an actor. I don't know if you've seen the movie. His name is William DeMeo.
I know the name.
Okay,
Definitely.
so
Yeah.
you seen the movie Gotti, the new one with John Travolta?
I know. No, I know it's a gangster film. I know what it's. I know obviously about Gotti because Gotti was. I mean, we have when all that stuff went down, and it was all over the news, obviously, and around the country. So
Right.
I did not see the film, but obviously I know of Travolta, and I know that. Okay, wow. So
He played Sammy the Bull in that movie.
yeah, yeah. Sammy the Bull. Okay,
And
sure.
I know him personally. I know him. I eventually, got connected with him, and I bought this off of him.
Wow. Okay. Gee, that's amazing. Okay. Well, is he involved in this project you're currently in doing now?
Funny thing you say that. He did a boxing movie called I think it was called Back in the Day.
Yep.
Back in the Day, I think it was called. So I reached out to him, see if he was interested in help me co-write it at the end after I wrote everything.
Okay.
And he was in Miami at that time.
Right.
He has a what do you call it? A show right now, a TV show called Gravesend.
Okay.
So I called him up, and he said no, he was just too busy. He's doing his filming. But he's like, you're in Florida. I was like, yeah. well, why don't you come down here and be an extra in this thing? So I did. I was out there an extra, and then what do you call it? They got me in a scene with, you seen obviously Goodfellas, right?
Oh yeah.
The guy that plays Joe Pesci's younger self.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't remember. I remember the, Raz Palmieri playing Sonny.
Yes.
But I
Yeah,
don't. Chaz, I'm sorry, not Raz. Chaz, excuse me if he's watching. Okay. No, I don't remember.
That
That's.
was in Bronx Tale.
Oh yeah. See, there I go.
Actually, he was in Bronx Tale too. This guy, Joseph Stefano, his name is.
Okay.
But in Goodfellas, he was the younger Joe Pesci guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think okay. Maybe okay. I was thinking of A Bronx Tale because in that film they mentioned
It's kind of confusing after a while.
it is. Plus, I know that film because they mentioned Rocky. They mentioned Rocky Marciano, and obviously because I'm from Brockton, Mass, and so was Rocky Marciano, and like we talked about, I'm friends with a lot of his family members that are still, and they're all still in the area.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It is. Well, tell me about now. You said you were there since 1987. You don't even look like you were born until 1997. You look young. I mean, so.
I was born in '74, so I'm like 49 years old.
Yeah, you are. Wow. You don't look anywhere near that.
I know. I get that a lot, but
I'm sure you do. Wow. Okay. All right. So, tell me about let's talk about your childhood. What was that like? You look like you were an athletic guy, I assume, and you look like you still are. And what did you aspire to?
Baseball. Baseball was what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a major league ball player, and I went to a bunch of tryouts and I tried, but and I made a bunch of cuts, but it's tough.
I know.
What realized one time they moved me to third base at one tryout.
Did you try out in the majors? Did you make a minor league team somewhere?
Right, trying to get the minor leagues. Right, you got to go to the minor leagues.
Yeah.
But I was trying out for shortstop, but this particular time they didn't. They moved me to third base.
Yeah. Okay.
And the catcher threw one to third base, and it was a bullet.
Yep.
I thought I was going to get hit in the head, but I caught it. I was like, "Holy cow! I never seen anybody throw like that." He didn't even make the cut. That's how he was that good, and he didn't make the cut. And I realized, man, it's almost about time that I got to realize, it's time to hang it up. But
okay, yeah,
but he was really good, and he didn't make the cut. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, but did you tag the runner out anyway? He was trying to steal third. It sounds like
yeah.
Good. Well, there you go. Well, for that, hey, I'm sure the coach was impressed with that, even if he didn't make the cut. That's pretty.
They were more looking at his arm at that.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, okay, all right. So you like baseball, and just like Rocky Marciano, whose dream was to play for the Cubs, and then he did something else because sometimes life is full of all kinds of twisty roads and stuff, and roads less traveled and more traveled. When you see that one road. Sometimes you see there's something more prevalent in a different direction than a prior one, and you take that path, and you have obviously.
Right.
Okay. All right. So how when you tried out for the minors, were you in your teens at the time, or were you beyond that?
Yeah, I was 17, 18 at the time.
Okay, it's hard to believe that was so long ago. No one's seen how.
Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I went for the Cubs. I went for the Braves. I went for.
I would have should have gone for the Red Sox. Maybe they'd have picked you. You could have used you. I'm sure it would have been.
I don't think the Red Sox and Yankees. I think they were the only ones that I remember that didn't have open tryouts.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. They'll invite they invite people, like they'll go mostly college places and they'll invite, but yeah, they didn't have open tryouts at the time.
Okay. Well, and they didn't win the World Series that year either. So, no, I understand. I know. Look, all right. So what did you do like when you got into your 20s, when you realized baseball wasn't going to work? What was the next step in life? What did you do after that?
Well, most of the time at that time, I was working for a pizza company, Domino's Pizza at the time for many years. And I went to a boat company, Boston Whaler. I worked for Boston Whaler a little bit. And then I decided to go to school for drafting.
Okay.
Drafting and design, engineering, drafting. And I done that. And I'm still doing that, the drafting right now. That's what I do. I like getting a job, and I work at home. So it's pretty convenient. Oh, yeah,
sure it is. Yeah, you were certainly easy enough to reach when I called you last week. Wow. All right. What exactly is drafting? Is that architecture of sorts?
Yeah. Correct. Like, what I do a roof company right now.
Okay.
So honest, it could be so many different things, either car or whatnot, but I'm doing the roof or top of the roof, we'll draw it out. So this one's a 3D, 2D
Okay.
simple, but I
Yep.
can do 3D stuff, SolidWorks and all that.
Sweet. Oh yeah, I'm sure you're very skilled. What school did you go to for that? I'm wondering if I've heard of it.
Daytona
Okay.
State College.
And it's
Yeah.
going down in Florida, obviously. That must have been, spring break must have been a blast for you, right? Assuming
Every spring break, yeah.
no spring break?
No, when spring, yeah, every time a spring break comes, we go out there, hang out, and
Yeah, exactly. In Daytona, that's where they all
ladies.
go.
That's it.
Okay. So now eventually you got into filmmaking. How did that come to be?
Um, that the kind of funny thing about it, I'm passionate about the Rocky movie.
Yep, yep.
And, I had so many movies that I have my own that I watch. I'm a big movie buff, but
Yeah, okay.
as a Rocky, passionate about Rocky, I had this idea, a script that I actually wrote,
Yep.
which I knew that for it to happen, it's not going to happen because MGM owns Rocky.
Okay.
They got writers, and whatnot. But I wrote a script of Rocky, everything from his birth to he fights Spider Rico. I don't know if you remember the first Rocky movie when he fights Spider Rico.
I think that was 1976, right?
Right.
So you were
Right.
2 years old. So I probably remember it more than you do, but okay. Yeah, but not well. But I remember when it was 76. Okay.
Well, so I wrote everything in between there,
Right.
knowing that probably not going to happen. And the
Okay.
funny thing is, the way it happened, the way I did write it, I had this idea in my head for the longest time.
Okay.
And there was a girl I was dating at that time. I was living in Winter Park, Florida, and I was talking to her about it. Really passionate about talking about this
Okay.
idea I have. And we going to a place called Park Avenue. It's a nice area in Winter Park, and a Starbucks out there.
Okay.
We passed a couple of different Starbucks, but we wanted that particular one. It was
Yep.
actually July 4th, 2017.
Okay.
So parked the car, walked across the street, and I saw this guy, but I didn't pay attention to him. Went inside, and went in line. Nobody's there. We're in line, and somebody walks in, and I didn't pay attention to who it was. And she kicks my foot and gives a head like that, and I like turn around, and I see a guy texting on the phone. He just got his orange hair out,
Yep.
that kind of bicep, and I looked at him. Couldn't see his face, but once tapped him on the shoulder, he looked up. It was Carrot Top.
Wow. Wow.
So
Wow.
the funny thing is, I didn't know he had a house out there at the time, but I knew he would go to Winter Park out there and hang out.
Okay.
So it was to me, I took that as a sign.
Yep.
And then I talked to him about stuff, and I told him I know Frank Stallone personally, and I asked him if he knew Frank Stallone. He said, yeah, just about a week ago he had met up with him. They had dinner or whatnot, and they took a picture. So he showed me that, and I actually did see that before online. But yeah, that was interesting how that happened. And then 17 days later, the funny thing is, that girl I was with at the time, I told her 6 weeks prior, I told her that, I have a feeling I was going to run into Carrot Top. She didn't know who he was at that time.
Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why did you feel that you just had like a premonition?
Yeah, I just had that feeling. Even when I was a kid, I always felt like I was going to meet him.
Okay.
Interesting. Why?
Wow.
Yeah. But 6 weeks, we were eating dinner at a restaurant, and I was like, she didn't even know who he was. She had to Google him.
Right.
She didn't see his face when he walked in. She just saw like it was just weird looking though.
Yeah, I remember him very
Yeah.
well from some of the '80s films that he was in.
Right.
Wow.
So 17 days later, I got laid off. Work.
Oh wow. Okay.
I didn't write anything of that. That's when I realized, okay, now it's time to write something. That kind of pushed me to say, okay, start writing, and then that's when I wrote it.
But a fire under you did it.
I'm sorry.
But a fire under you.
Right.
Yeah, I got you.
So then I started writing. Then I know Frank Stallone, and I called him. I didn't tell him what it was, but I asked him, any way I can get this to Sly, see if he's interested in doing it or something like that, see if he can get connections, whatever. But he
Wow.
said, well, I know you wouldn't do anything, but he couldn't do it because of the fact of liability stuff, because there's been people that, gave script and something happened and then they gotten sued.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's true.
Never went through it,
A
but
lot of copyright infringements are hanging around in the air
right,
for sure.
exactly. So he gave me a tip to call. His name is Adam Bennett. It's
Okay,
William Morris in Denver. It's a big agent company in California. I believe there's one in New York as well.
okay.
So I called, and I didn't expect him to answer the phone. Adam Bennett is actually Sly's manager at the time.
Wow.
So he actually answered the phone. I thought it'd be, a secretary and whatnot. And he said, well, normally they don't take scripts unless someone has a referral, like someone refers you to them.
Yep.
Since you know Frank, he would go ahead and look at it. All right.
Wow.
Said, all right, I'll have it done in a month. Everything else that I had to clean up and all,
Yep.
had it done, and it turns out he resigned from the company.
Okay.
It's something that happened like a couple of years prior. They were at a party, and I guess he did something to another actor named Terry Crews. You remember Terry Crews?
Slightly. The name sounds familiar. I'm not as big a film buff as you are, but the names are all ringing true to me though. And I know. Okay.
Well, he had done something to him at a party, and they went to court about it, and then he ended up, I guess, retiring, resonating from that company,
Yeah.
and I lost my connections with that company.
Okay.
They wouldn't honor it. Nothing ever came about. I had other connections, so I never gave it to the right person. It's still under my shelf, collecting dust.
Okay.
So from there, I end up months later, I'm on a set of Creed
Yep.
2.
So right. So that was this year we're talking, right?
That was actually 2018.
Oh, okay.
Months
Okay.
after that
Right.
situation happened.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
I ended up finding myself on Creed 2, and the funny thing is, on first Creed, the Creed 1, I applied to get on there. They didn't let me go on. They just wanted locals. I said I would do it for nothing.
Wow.
I would go there and do it for nothing to be an extra there.
Yep.
No, they said no. But I actually did take the drive out there, and I did see Sly outside, in Philadelphia at that time, and Michael B.
Right.
Jordan, but nothing. They wouldn't let me do anything. But this time, somehow I got through the cracks. They still wanted locals, but somehow they said I can do it.
Sweet. I always say everything happens for a reason and when it's
Right.
meant to. And
Right.
sometimes you just got to put the right amount of pressure on the competition, and next thing you know, they say, "Hey, listen, you got to sell yourself," and you did, and that's a beautiful thing when you do that.
Yeah, the kind of funny thing is they got me in there, and I was supposed to be in a scene where Michael B. Jordan, Creed, he
Okay.
fights Andre Ward,
Okay.
the first fight. That's the scene that they scheduled me for. So they text me or emailed me. I can't remember if I was coming. I said, yeah, I'm coming. The only thing is, I'm coming from Florida. And I was wondering, you got me in the crowd there. Is there anything like a speaking role I can get or something like that I said, not knowing, how everything works. Because I'm not even be seen. And I tell them, by the way, I'm a big Rocky fan. I'm not. Most of the people that go as extras, they want to be actors. I
Okay.
only want to go just because I'm a big Rocky fan.
I understand. I've been
That's
extra in
fine.
some film. I've been an extra in a couple of films too, so I know how that is.
And I didn't know how all this stuff works with the SAG and all that. I didn't know anything about that.
Right. Right.
So at that time, I messaged him, yeah, I'm coming. By the way, I'm a big Rocky fan. I know Frank Stallone personally. And that's, what else? Oh, we're supposed to report on April 2nd,
Okay.
the show. And I tell him, by the way, my birthday's on April 1st,
Okay.
which is what it is. My birthday's on April 1st. So
Yep.
they messaged me back.
You're
"Oh,
born on a
you've been
Monday.
up What's that?
You're born on a Monday.
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Then they messaged me back saying that you've been upgraded to a ringside photographer.
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
It was.
That was pretty cool. And then after we did that scene, which is funny thing is Andre Ward, I didn't know at the time he's a real boxer. He was like a champ at one time.
Right.
He fought a guy that's in my movie. Um, his name is Darnell Boone. They
Okay.
fought at one time.
Okay.
Darnell lost that fight, but he knocked him out.
Wow.
He knocked him down, not knocked out, but he knocked him down, and that's when that he got more recognition for that, Darnell.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, in this film, in the film you're working on now, what did you cast yourself as?
As when I wrote this, I wrote it for a part for me as Tony Milano, the boxer.
Got it. That's what I thought. That's why you're Tony Milano on Facebook.
Right.
Okay,
right.
that's okay. And on that note, we're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me. I hope we covered as much as we could about your story.
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, about the story is about a middle-aged boxer who been in his comfort zone for
Yep.
the last 20 years.
Yep.
He wasn't, at this point, he's not boxing. He had some fights early on, but he gave up, 4 fights, so didn't win any and gave up.
Okay.
And at this point in life, his father had passed away, lost everything, lost his job, everything. And he decided going to fight again. He's going to fight again for his father. And so he gets out of his comfort zone, comes to Youngstown by his uncle. His uncle,
Okay.
a little bit, he's got connections in boxing and connection in mafia.
Of course.
So, so basically, it's about a guy who gets, he has a hard time getting out of his comfort zone and, see what happens. And he obviously is in boxing.
Okay, that's an incredible story, and you
Try
wrote.
not to get rid of too much information. I don't want to.
Oh, I know you don't want to give away too much but what you've given away is enough so that people are going to want to see the film as soon as they watch the interview for sure, and present company included. Well, we'll talk. I hope you had fun talking to me. I hope we covered as I tried to make it as thorough an interview as I could with like I do with everybody. So is there anything like coming up that you want to mention that you might have overlooked, or something that you can point out any quick facts that you want to, if there's anything that you overlooked, and we'll wrap it up. But
yeah, I mean, I'm here in Youngstown. Kind of funny thing is that Youngstown's a big boxing community.
Okay.
Ray Boom Boom Mancini.
Yep.
Lives out here. Actually, he was supposed to be in the movie, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it. He was supposed to be Tony Milano's trainer.
You must be in pretty good shape after all these years too, huh?
Yeah, he's still in good shape. Yeah. Kelly the Ghost Pavlik.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's in the movie too. A little, he's not an actor, but he'll be in it. Little spots here.
That's sweet. Okay, and I assume that you're currently shooting it, or you're not, or you're in the prep stage still.
Oh, we're about 75% done.
Oh, you are? Okay.
We do the fighting scene probably. I'm thinking end of November or beginning of December, the last fight scene. Funny thing is that Ed O'Neill, remember Ed O'Neill from Married with
Al
Children?
Bundy, sure.
Okay, he's from Youngstown as well.
Oh wow. Okay.
And his house is about where it used to be. The house doesn't exist anymore. It's about a half a mile away from where I'm staying.
Wow.
And across from me is Rayan's, I can't pronounce it right. Rayan Stadium, I think it's called.
Okay.
A high school out there, and you can see where he used to play football over there. Because when he went to YSU,
you really did play high school football.
Yeah. Well, no, he actually played at the college.
Oh, he did.
Youngstown University. Yep. They didn't have a football stadium, so they would borrow that stadium, that field, to play at that time. So that's where he played at. Now they have one, but.
Well, I heard he was scouted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of like you in baseball. Yeah. I know all about that. Yeah. All right. Well, you did a great job. I hope you enjoyed talking to me. I hope we made it as thorough as you wanted to. So, did you have fun?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
Definitely.
If you have anybody now, if your friend that runs the gym wants to do the show, we'll get him on. Have him text me. If you know anybody that's interesting, anyone. Yeah. I'll interview anybody that you want. I'm always getting guests from word of mouth now. It's really going well. Now,
I definitely do. I have a few people in mind.
I have one. Oh, perfect. Now I have one last favor. We're going to wrap the show up with my snapping again. Would you stick around and do a couple of pics for Facebook? My tech guy will take them, and I'll tag you in them.
Yeah, sure. What do you mean? Send? You say send some? I didn't get to hear that.
No, my tech guy is going to take some pics with my phone, and I'm going to post them on Facebook, and I'm going to tag you. Are you okay? Are you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, you did a great job, Tony. And I appreciate you doing it. And I'm so looking forward to seeing that film when it's done.
Yeah, it's called Standing in Youngstown.
Got it. Well, now there you go. Yeah. All right, we covered it all. All right, folks, we're wrapping it up now. See you next time. Have a great week. Talking out and taking off.